I'm here with Depio, right?
Yep.
And we're going to look at his paintings and talk about them a little bit, and I hope you enjoy it.
So this painting is about the American intervention in the Philippines. So it's part of that series of Korea, but this one's early on, 1876 I think, and until 1901 when William Taft. So this is William Taft. He was the first Governor General of the Philippines, essentially the first sort of, ad hoc president of the Philippines. This was before he was president of the United States. And so, the connection of the Philippines and the United States and America is very, very tight. We were talking about 1876 here up to 1901, 1896 I think. But, and so this is like, so they changed everything from Spanish to the American Bazaar, which is a real store that they made. They changed all the names, they changed the culture. William Taft actually promoted American culture, and he also promoted Philippine culture at the same time and found a way to in between. So that's what we have even to this day. For my show in Reno, I was invited by Chris Bowder for well, it's called the Skull Show. It talks about life and death kind of thing, but the theme is the fun thing is that there's skulls in the painting, and so this one is a skull ring, and the painting is rough, and I just like playing around. I got too tired of really like this tight depiction of reality, and I wanted to stylize. So every time I have a smaller piece, I grab that chance to like really go wild with the painting.
What about
So this one here.
You're gonna walk over?
Yeah. So this one here is the underpainting, underdrawings or sketches for the mural for the lobby of the courthouse. So that brand new building across the city hall downtown is the new courthouse building, and this is going to be the main lobby. And I was commissioned by the city of Las Vegas, and so this is the bigger version of that bigger drawing, and I have like several.
So you did the small drawing first.
Yeah, I did small drawing, and then but there were several really tiny drawings first, and then you blow it up. This is the final one after like 100 iterations, and then this is like the final thing where you're adding even more detail. And the thing here is you think you got everything all in a grid, but then you're inventing details as you go along. It's like, oh my God, this just looks empty. You're adding more and more, and you're getting yourself into deeper trouble.
So you have a very unique style. Can you talk a little bit about the way you paint? It's almost like you hatched with the oil paint.
Yeah, so I was my dad's assistant in the studio for like.
So your dad was an artist?
Oh yeah, portrait artist and a muralist in the Philippines.
Oh, cool.
Now he's his assistant, his free assistant for more than a decade.
Hey, free work.
Yeah, and I did the underpaintings, so I painted thinly. It's like, and it had to be thin, and you can't waste paint and all that. And it was like all the shadowy parts and everything. It's like, and I got so bored, and eventually when I got older, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna break out of this boring life.
As much paint as you can.
Use as much paint as you can. Yeah.
You can't really see it, but the texture, probably not on the TV thing, but the texture, it's almost 3D. You really want to touch it, but you're not supposed to touch art.
Yeah. So after 10 years,
you get a lot of people going up and.
I wanted to do something illegal in the painting, my painting practice, where it's like, I'm going to use this much paint now that I'm older and I can do whatever I want. And so, and I rebelled. I just did this, and I used, instead of a sable brush or a filbert, I'm using this flat bristle brush, and I'm like,
oh wow,
boom,
and then you have like that, like you said, like within each shape, there's like this
hatching, and that's coming from drawing, because I'm doing the underpaintings, the drawing first, then the underpainting. And so all of that stuff, like I never finished a painting in my entire life until I was older, and I was like, you know what?
So did this style come to you slowly, or did it just all of a sudden you were painting like
It came slowly because I always have to fight that initial, classical thin, sort of washy kind of painting. I'm fighting myself because I'm always like, especially when this is hard stuff. Like you can turn into mud so easily. So it's like you want to give up, and it's like let me go back to this thin painting, and then you're scraping it off and you're saying, okay, fine, I'm gonna try it again.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, and but the kids they're all gonna want to use all the paint now to do this.
But
we don't have that much paint, kids. It's about what?
It's about South Korea in the early early 70s or mid 70s, and there are real references here, and the service store is really misspelled, but it kind of I thought that the reference was it showed that the early intervention of the late years after the intervention of the U.S. in Asia. And how there's this melding of cultures, and there's a resistance. Like the North Korea was a resistance to that. United States, being in the southern part, the influence of capitalism and all that. So, I thought it was interesting to depict that without a strict narrative, but just using aesthetics. Like so this just. Yeah, there's funny stuff in there. Cool. If you see that dragon monster up there, that dragon monster is from the temple, and it's eating a US dollar sign right there, stylized, of course, but at the Polish Biennale, and then because of COVID they canceled it.
Oh no!
So then there's 3 more panels that to finish this piece. And I don't know where I'm going to show it next, but, whatever.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Do you like working big?
Oh, yeah. Well, you kind of have, like, too many stories in your head without really...
Wait a second, Can you explain the zebra and horse?
Yeah, so the zebra and the horse thing. So there's a full zebra body on this panel here, but you can see them, like, they're kissing here. It's like insinuating or kind of like hinting about the racial divide and how or this intermingling of races, or at least the issues that we talk about in social media.
And wasn't this
hidden,
one?
It's hidden in
and I like the.
Yeah, and this one. So I'll show you later. There's a precursor for this painting I painted in 2019 where it's talking about the Black Death. That the black swan or crazy stuff that happens in our lives, they happen from tiny little things that we can't see, and people are in war here, and they're afraid of the alligator, and they're afraid of the rat that's on the alligator, but really there's the bacteria that's on the flea, on the rat that's on the alligator or the crocodile, and they're not seeing it, that it's the virus or the bacterium that's going to kill them. They buy these palettes. They like it more than my actual... Oh, by the way, so that painting over there, so I painted this in 2019, and this was part of the show, Historic 50s School. We were there. I think we were together in that show. And... yeah, so this is a precursor for that big painting out there, all the Roman soldiers and all that, and you can see the alligator or crocodile or whatever, and you can see the ghost emoji up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of gave me an idea to make a 10 by 20 foot one. That's
recurring theme.
Yeah, and that one is 5 panels together and comes together 20 feet wide.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.